And what do you know? I actually made it to a video game book club.
Hey.
It's
I
a
say
goddamn miracle.
when's the last time Penguin was on one?
A video game book club? I don't think I've actually been on one.
I
I
think the
may-
last one. I think the last one he was involved with was probably like whatever one we did is just like 10 minutes of the podcast.
yeah. I don't know. I haven't taken the time to play a lot of the games, but this month's video game book club I like.
Jacket made me like it. This is all his fault.
Jacket didn't
It's
make
not-
you like shit.
Sir.
I don't know about that. What I did was make you play the games rather than going, oh, I won't fucking like that. Oh, I'm not going to play it. And I said, actually play the game instead, then you actually end up liking it. Because that's the problem that you have with every fucking game that comes up, is that you decide you don't like it before you've ever even played it. And then you play it, and like every game I've told you to play recently, you've been, oh yeah, I really like it.
What was the last one? I can't remember.
There was there's Metal Gear Solid, there was Hotline Miami.
Yep. I do remember that. Well, Hotline Miami wasn't a book club game, but yeah, Metal Gear I ended up liking. Hotline I liked. I haven't finished.
Was Metal Gear
I haven't finished it because I got sucked into this.
Metal Gear was a book club game.
Yeah, Metal Gear was a book club game.
I couldn't even remember.
I
think
just
it was
didn't have
on-
the patience to go through and play Metal Gear 5 again after playing it years ago.
Yeah, that was fun. And then this one and this one just really kind of sucked. Like it's the thing too is that like I wanted to play it, but I never ended up buying it, and then it ended up being free. By the time I got around to like wanting to really play it, it was like it's gonna be free at some point. Lo and behold, here we are, free on the best deal in gaming.
I thought it would have been on. I thought it would have been a plus
It's not on
game.
Game
before now.
Pass.
So, but
The free on the best the co-best deal in gaming.
No, PlayStation Plus is the best deal because it has the best games. Game Pass has nothing. Let's be honest. It has quantity of games. Yeah, that you can give it credit for that. It has a lot of games, but a lot of games that are high quality, it does not have.
Okay.
he's
okay.
kind of
hold-
got it there.
Hold on.
He's
Hold on.
not-
Game Pass does not have a lot of first party quality games, but there are good games on there. Probably equivalent amount of good games as there are to first party Sony games.
How many games on Game Pass are as good as God of War?
I was gonna make a joke about how Game Pass has Bethesda, but you said quality, so
How many games on Game Pass are as good as The Last of Us? How many games on Game Pass are as good as Uncharted? How many games on Game Pass are even as good as Ghost of Tsushima or Spider-Man?
first of all, like
That's a fucking
every game on
barren
Game
list.
Pass is better than Uncharted. I don't care what you say.
Well,
I'm
That's
playing
not-
through Uncharted, but that doesn't mean I'm enjoying
It
Uncharted.
depends which Uncharted we're talking about.
I'm on 3 right. I'm on 3 right now. I'm hoping 4 is better.
4 is I think 4 and Lost Legacy are the best
yes, I agree.
out of all of them. It does really piss me off the fucking stupid discourse around like Uncharted. No one at the time was complaining about the gunplay in Uncharted. Even Uncharted 1, if you go back and look at the reviews, people weren't complaining about it. Although Uncharted 1's gunplay isn't great at all. When Uncharted 2 and 3 came out, people were sucking its dick for the fucking gunplay. Now people turn around and go, oh yeah, but isn't that good? Compared to what? How many games have got you fucking swinging around and jumping up and down stuff? Like, it's pretty rare. Even like Tomb Raider, which doesn't have particularly good gunplay at all, in my opinion. Although I think the bow is good in gunplay in Tomb Raider. There's very few third-person shooters where you're as vertical as you are in Uncharted, where you're going up and down and all that, and swinging around, jumping around and stuff. Most third-person shooters, you are pretty much rooted to the spot, I think. So it's really hard to compare them, but I do think 4 and Lost Legacy are the best. But I would still say...
I hope so once I get there.
I would still say none of those games, there's nothing on Game Pass that's of that quality. There's a lot of good games on Game Pass, but they're good games. There's no exception.
Sir, have you not played Power Wash Simulator?
Yeah.
The new hotness.
Like, a Game Pass to me is...
The lawnmower simulator?
is like if you want to go through a list of games that, oh yeah, I might play that. That's basically what Game Pass is.
Penguin Lawn Mowing Simulator is on PlayStation Plus.
Yes, it is.
Sweet.
Or no, wait, no.
It is. Nope, it is.
Is it? Okay.
It's because I downloaded it.
I was thinking I just claimed it on Epic Game Store, but
nope, it's on PS Plus.
No, I feel like this is what this podcast is about, but I think that both are good deals. I think they're the co-best deals in gaming, and we're just gonna go with that.
I think Game Pass is. I think it's struggling. Again, not the podcast about, but I think it's struggling at the minute. I think there's a real no one's mentioned Game Pass. Like if you go back into what was it, 2021, when there seemed to be constantly something coming to Game Pass. Like there was always some game like, oh wow, this is coming to Game Pass, and this was coming to Game Pass. We haven't heard anything like that for a long time.
Don't worry, it's all gonna change when Xbox buys out Rockstar Games. And when Xbox buys out Nintendo, it'll be fine. Don't worry.
Yeah.
All right, let's actually do what we're here to do.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Video Game Book Club for July. It is the Returnal Book Club game. I'm your host, Iron. With me, as always, is Mike. Sir, how are you doing?
I'm just here for support. I don't have a lot to say about this game.
Yeah, he's just here for support.
He's
here for me to berate him. That's what he's.
I'm not saying I was gonna tell him like, Mike, you're here because you know that your jacket's just gonna like shit on you. Like you know what's gonna happen.
Today, the part of Iron will be played by Mike.
Yeah, basically.
And then we have Mr. Penguin on his, I believe, first video game book club, aside from maybe like the first one or the. Yeah, except for maybe one, although I can't remember which one.
Play Tokyo Jungle. I'll be on every book club.
No. I feel like he did when we did the first Horizon, which was probably like the first month book club.
I think so.
Yeah,
that's when we started it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then we have Jacket, sir. How are you?
I'm all good. I'm all good.
Good. So yeah, this one we're basically talking about Returnal. I personally had not played it until this point. Penguin had already previously played it, and then Jacket as well. Penguin and Jacket both have the platinum, and I am ever so fucking close.
134 hours.
Mike played it not long after it came out, because that's one of the games that he and Chuck swapped, wasn't it? Human Troll, sorry.
Yeah. I played a little bit of it, but I never got out of the first. I think the first time I played it, I think I just unlocked the sword, and then I kind of fell off of it because other games came up, and I gave it a good try this time, and I made it farther than I thought I would. I'll say that.
Didn't you say you made it to 3?
I made it into the third biome, but I never got to the third boss. So
I think I said this to Iron. I think it is true. I think he probably agreed. Probably Penguin as well. I think the third biome is almost the hardest in the game. Weirdly, it's the hardest boss. Almost.
Oh, hands down. Derelict Citadel is the worst.
Yeah.
I think I said to Iron before he started playing, if you make it, I think if you can make it through the first biome, you can finish the game. But if you make it if you beat the third biome, you're done basically at that point. The rest of the game becomes like a downward slope at that point to like difficulty.
So I agree because it took me a while to get used to it. And then I'm pretty sure I didn't make it out to the first boss for a while. First boss, I was like, oh, that wasn't bad. I think I got it on my second or third try. Second boss, I think I got on my third try. Third boss, what sucked was having to run, you have to go through the first biome because you need to upgrade shit. Then you have to get through the second. It's almost like you just need to run through the first, and the first part of the second is what Jacket had me doing just to upgrade your stuff. Yeah. And then you get a portal open, and then you can get to the third. The third one's just a pain in the ass. And that boss took me fucking forever because it's a lot of grappling.
I think it took you 3 attempts. I think you beat it on the third attempt. I think you beat it.
Well, what do you mean you didn't beat the third boss with the starting weapon?
Being beat with a pistol. So yeah, just to go back, just to quickly talk about like the difficulty in the game, because we should probably just talk about it quickly. Returnal is a roguelike. People are gonna get all over my fucking dick for not explaining the right type of roguelike it is. It's a roguelike, whatever that means to you, that's what it is. What makes Returnal difficult, in my opinion, is there is basically no carryover whatsoever. You get your weapon perks carry over, and that's basically it. You have a few upgrades, and that's it. There's no health, there's no experience, there's basically nothing. And even with the weapon perks, you are locked to a tier. So in the first 3 biomes, you can only get up to level 15 with your weapons, so you can only have certain weapon perks. And then for the final 3, you can go above 15, and you can get the extra ones. So it is pretty brutal in terms of like difficulty.
And it's not just like a roguelite. It's a roguelite bullet hell.
Yes.
Yeah. So the other thing is, of course, it is like most of Housemarque's other games, in that it is basically a bullet hell game that is more fleshed out than probably any other bullet hell game's ever been. But I do think number one, I think it plays really well. I mean, it's very, very smooth. I mean, a very smooth game. Like, it does have a few performance hiccups. Like every now and then.
I just hit one while we were waiting to do this. I was running it, and it was absolutely. There was like 6 big ass enemies and just so much stuff, and all of a sudden I dashed and the game just went, and then it went to normal again.
No, that wasn't performance hiccup. That was just you being bad at the game.
Sir, I am doing just fine.
Yeah, I would say Iron's pretty fucking good at the game.
No, he is. He is. I agree.
I don't think he's bad at all. I think he's done really well with it. He had a bit of a rough start, mainly because what frustrates me about Iron sometimes, I can't watch him play games. I really struggle to watch him play games.
I just love how he describes how I play games. It's so fun.
He plays games like he's incredibly slow and yet still reckless. Like, that's what blows my mind. Like, he will take his time to do something and he will still then be really reckless with it. And I'm like, I can't understand how he's doing this at the same time.
The ironic thing is, Jacket says he can't watch Iron play games. Yet every time Iron talked about playing Returnal, Jacket was like, "Stream it, for crying out loud!"
I'll watch him, but I will get frustrated with watching him. But the other thing was, I would say to him, like, how many times do I have to tell you to stop running into? I would say to him, "Don't run into the room. Just go into the room slowly." And he would listen to me one time. Then the next fucking room, he'd run straight in the middle of the room again. For fuck's sake!
There's 2 modes, Iron. 2 modes. You either go slow and careful, or you go fast and reckless.
Here's the thing.
Iron's only got the 1 mode.
I'm like okay. Like so. So I would. So like, especially like right now, like after I beat the game, or even if I got like really far, like if I hit like deep into biome 5, and I died, I would, you go back to 4, and I'd start doing that. And after a certain point, it's like, I am not getting any of the weapon upgrades I want. I'm not getting any of the, like, I'm not finding any weapon. I'm not finding any perks. I'm not finding anything. I was like, fucking just let me die and restart again. Or you just get so frustrated that you just start blowing through it and dying so many times. And then I would literally shut off the game, go play something else, get frustrated, shut that game off, play another one, and then I'd end up back at Returnal within like 30 minutes. If that.
There is a frustration level with not getting the weapons you want in particular, because like if you want to play with a certain weapon, you have just got to hope that you're going to get it. And sometimes you can play through like an entire biome and not get the weapon you want.
Yeah.
Which is
my worst run through a biome, and I kid you not, I ran through a biome once and every single weapon pickup was a spit maw.
Yeah, I fucking hate.
I was like, "Are you fucking
I have
kidding
to,
me?"
But if I have to, I'll grab it just to. It's better than the. It's better than the.
No, I will take the starting gun over the spit maw.
I'll take the spit maw just because if it has like more damage, and at least
I would still stick with a pistol over the spit maw, because that gun is garbage.
Yeah, I never really liked the spit maw very much. To me, it was
some guns that were trash.
The spit maw, the lobber, and the Lobber, I think,
love
are the two
Rockland Lobber.
that's
That's one of my faves.
are the two absolute garbage guns.
You can
You're
do shit with the
broken if you
Lobber
think the
if you get
Rockland.
yeah, you can do some good shit with the Lobber if you get good with it, but it is a weapon you have to really practice with to like get like
The
good shit.
I mean,
the launcher wasn't bad.
The thermogenic launcher.
you get perks on the thermogenic launcher. That thing's beastly.
That's good
Yeah.
for like all the stupid little flying enemies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the best guns I think were the carbine and the Hollow Seeker. That at least that I was able to experience.
Those are the two I always go looking for. If I have one of those and anything else pops up, I just keep going at this point because I just don't like them.
When you get to the final set of biomes and you unlock the second set of weapon perks, the Hollow Seeker gets Portal Beam, which is like the push to win button for the game, because that will just destroy the final boss.
Oh my god!
If you've got that
Portal Beam will destroy everything.
Yeah, you'll just fucking destroy because the final boss doesn't move. That's what makes Portal Beam so useful. It doesn't move around, so as long as you're pointing it at the right direction, it just fucking destroys it really, really quickly. Don't get me wrong, there are other weapon perks for like the launcher. You can get some crazy weapon perks for that will do like just insane damage. But I think the easiest to play with weapons are the carbine and the Hollow Seeker, just because I think most people could pick those up and get used to them very quickly. I think.
Oh yeah, this is how ridiculously easy the final boss is. I had the Hollow Seeker on my last run. In like a minute and 45 seconds, I beat it, and it had Portal Beam 2, Serrated Projectiles 2, and I think Retarget 2.
Yeah.
Like, it annihilated it.
Yeah, the funny thing about Returnal is that the game, once you've beat the game, it's not about gaining experience points or anything like that with Returnal. You just get better at the game, and eventually you get so good at the game, the difficulty seems to just disappear completely. Like it's ridiculous. When I first did the Platinum, and back before they patched all the fucking stuff in, I was having to play that game over and over and over and over again, and it became nothing. I was running through it because I was playing it so much that nothing even phases you anymore. But it does take a good bit of practice, I think, to get to that point. And I think, like I said earlier, it's getting through the first 3 biomes. If you can get through the first 3, I think that's when the difficulty just seems to start to taper off after that point.
Yeah, because biome 4 is essentially biome 1.
Well, yeah, it's just like in like the
to explain to talk about the story very quickly, because Mike obviously hasn't got to it. I guess you don't care about spoilers, Mike.
No, he doesn't.
No. Okay. So you get to the end of biome 3, you get rescued, you go home, you live your life, you die as an old lady, and then get brought back when you die to the planet again. Some people think that it's all really happening and that she really is an astronaut and all this is really happening, and then some people think it's all in her head and this is some kind of hallucination that she's having. And then some people think this is purgatory and that she's being punished for the death of, or seemingly the death of her child in the car crash. And she died as well, and this is like the purgatory. She's just reliving it over and over and over again.
I dig that. I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's in her head. I think she's crazy. I think she really was an astronaut, and I think she did get rejected. Because if you look at the letter in the house, one of the letters is talking about how she was psychologically rejected from the astronaut program.
Yeah, because it goes through, like, if you listen to the scout logs too, like those all like they kind of like some of them are talking about, like, it's almost as if she was talking to the therapist and that, and you're like, how is this isn't a normal scout log, like this is a recording from when she was with a therapist or something. Like, it makes no sense. Like, why would that be there? It has nothing to do with, like, you start off hearing scout logs like, oh, such and such, oh, I'm stuck here, oh, I'm finding my bodies, blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden you get like her talking to a therapist or something, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, like, and because the house is there that she grew up in as well, that's kind of like, you know, that's what makes you think it's a hallucination. Like
I
she's
think it was in her head too, because after you finish the final scene, all of a sudden it's just a pile of rocks.
yeah, yeah. It doesn't actually exist in the game at all. It's like a structure, like a rock or something, isn't it? Like it doesn't
Yeah.
appear at all.
But then maybe it is in her head too, because like after so many things, I can't remember which one it was. Or it was after one of the house scenes in that. I think it was the third to last one or something. You actually realize like you were the one that shot down the ship.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
It was you all along.
it's
Yeah,
so weird.
Yeah, and it implies that she's the astronaut on the bridge as well, which
Yeah.
I think is kind of like her guilty conscience. Like it's
Yeah.
saying that she's responsible for driving the car off the bridge because she was either trying to commit suicide or she was distracted or something happens. She drives the car off the bridge that kills her daughter. Yeah, it's weird, and they've been real tight-lipped about it. They've never given any answers to what the story means. Like it's all
Yeah.
I mean,
open to
In
interpret.
all,
even
in
the
all
doc-
honesty,
Go ahead.
would you be surprised if like it's kind of a weird combination, and like maybe the fact of the matter is she was in therapy for her rejection, and now she's in purgatory because she was so distraught she drove off the bridge.
Yeah, I
It
It
wouldn't
could be like a
surprised.
combination thereof.
Yeah, yeah. It's an interesting story because it really is. They don't go into any great detail, and there's no real conclusion at the end, you know, or anything like that. Even when you get the true ending, all you see in the true ending is what actually happens, but it doesn't really give you any answers as to why. you know.
Right. It's so weird
there
because
are-
then like the daughter said something about White Shadow like in the car, and then that's what the signal is that sends you to the planet, and then
I would like
I
to
don't
know
know.
why I sent Celine to that planet, because no joke, White Shadow was one of my nicknames when I worked for Shoe Carnival.
my God.
That is not a lie. That's a true story.
Hopefully, there might be a sequel or something to it. I don't know if they'd be interested in doing a sequel, but I'd like a sequel.
Yeah.
I'd like
I mean,
more.
it's
I don't even necessarily need a sequel to Returnal. I give me the same like kind of setup, but a different environment. I don't need it to be sci-fi. You can give me fantasy weapons. I don't care. If
Like
it plays like Returnal does, I'm in.
They obviously have a theme with Housemarque because their games have a very, very similar like aesthetic and the way they play.
Yeah.
as well, you know.
but if they're good at it, keep doing it.
Yeah, I'm all for more of that. I don't know how well it did for them because I feel like the problem with Returnal is it got labeled as being this like really hard game before anyone even played it, and I think a lot of people were put off playing it because of that. And it is a hard game, don't get me wrong, but I think that did put a lot of people off from buying it, especially because it was full price, and a lot of people, that was one of the first games where people started talking about the £70 price. It's like, is it worth $70? That was like a lot of the conversation around that, I think.
Playing it now, I vote that it is actually worth the $70.
100%, yeah, 100%.
I will tell you that the last numbers that were released that we know of for sales were from July of 2021 and had moved 560,000 units.
Yeah, I would.
But that seems pretty good for a Housemarque game.
Yeah, I doubt it's doing big numbers for PlayStation, but probably doing pretty well for House. Probably Housemarque's best-selling like within like a year or something.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
arguably
and
now with it being on Plus, people are enjoying
like
it.
their last game, Resogun, was like almost instantly to PS Plus. I think it was actually like
It was a launch Plus title.
yeah.
Like,
So
for the PS5, it was that one and
you mean PS4?
PS4, yeah. It was that one and God, what was that game where I don't know.
Yeah, either way. Because I remember I watched before I started playing it, right before I was able to get into it, I saw Neo playing it, and I was kind of just watching him play it, and I was like, and immediately I'm like, yeah, that's a Housemarque game. I mean, I knew it was a Housemarque game already, but like just watching it, you're just like, yeah, that's a Housemarque game.
Yeah, it has a lot of their kind of like design choices in it and stuff. A lot of like the enemy designs and stuff like that are very Housemarque as well.
Yeah, the enemy designs and literally just the attacks themselves are very Housemarque.
Yeah.
All the orbs,
Wow,
all the
y'all.
lights, all the
Way to
color.
way to typecast Housemarque.
I mean, again, they're good at this,
Yep.
so there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong
That's
with
like,
it.
that's like saying that Rockstar Games makes large open world games. Come on now. They also make ping pong games.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Forgot about that.
But it is a great game. I think more people should play it. I'm glad that a few more people did play it. We did it for the book club. You know, a few people did give it another go, which is good. But
Yeah.
I think in general that the problem is it is a frustrating game. There is, you know, especially when you first start and you think you're doing really well and you've put like 2 hours into it and then you die and then you're like, well, I've got to go right back to the beginning again now. You know,
God damn.
all those 2 hours gone. It is very like disheartening to like play like
Dude,
that.
getting like halfway through biome 2 and then dying, I would get so pissed because I'm like, oh my god, I was right there. Now I have to run through all of 1, all of 2, like
I
because
think the other issue as well is if you look at something like Hades, which is like obviously like a very popular roguelike as well, that game gives you a lot more back every time you finish a run. Like you can like buy shit, there's lots of upgrades you can get, you know, there's story, there's all kinds of things in between each run in Hades.
Same thing with like Rogue Legacy and a lot of other.
I mean, it's one of those things too, like I said earlier, literally if you get to a certain point, you're just like, oh my god, I can't find the gun, I can't find any good perks or anything. You're kind of fucked. Like, I mean, you can
No,
keep
you just go
working at
balls to the walls
you
anyway.
can keep grinding in that and all that, and that's fine, and you might get lucky after a certain point, especially once you, but like if you got a boss to face and you have found absolutely jack shit, you're like, fuck. And then you're just like, well, fuck it, wing it, let's see if I can do it.
Yeah.
That's how those games work. Like it's
Yeah.
you pray to RNGesus, and when RNGesus doesn't bless you, you wing that shit.
Like
It was a great game, and I think it was a real shame that it didn't get a lot of attention for like Game of the Year when it came out.
It
Because
was
like,
game of the year.
yeah, I mean, it should have been, but I mean, there was a lot of people just didn't even consider it. The fact that Ratchet and Clank got more attention than that, I think, is a bit criminal. Because I like Ratchet and Clank; that's a good game, but Ratchet and Clank's very much an good Insomniac game. I don't think there's anything too special about Ratchet and Clank. It's just a good, solid platformer. Whereas I think Returnal's a bit more of a special game.
yeah, so 2021 Game of the Year or Game Award, I'm just because I wanted to kind of compare it. Game of the Year nominees were Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village.
Yeah.
You could have knocked off Deathloop and put in Returnal on that list.
Yeah.
And I have Deathloop. I just never finished it.
And I'm just kind of looking like
no,
I don't think Returnal won anything.
Returnal won Game of the Year at the BAFTAs.
Okay, and I was just going for the Game Awards just because that was what I picked
I mean, Game
up.
Awards are not the be all end all.
I know. I was
a trailer showcase with some awards interspersed.
when I typed in Game of the Year 21, that just took me to Game Awards. Okay, bite me.
It won. Returnal won Game of the Year at the Finnish Game Awards.
That's the big one.
Yes.
I mean, it did win a few Game of the Years. It just didn't win them in places that a lot of people were paying attention to.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It
Best
won
action game at the Game Awards, and that's how you knew it wasn't winning Game of the Year.
But at the DICE Awards, it won the original music composition and audio design in 22. And then for BAFTA in 22 it won, or I say BAFTA. The Academy Game Awards won Best Game,
that's
Audio Achievement, Music, and Performer in a Leading Role for Jane Perry. So,
which is shocking as far as like winning the leading role award there.
Well, yeah, but what else was coming out that year that would be like comparable? Like a lot of them, I don't think there's anything that ever had like any kind of like range in it that had. So
Yeah.
it's not that surprising, really, I guess.
Yeah. So no, I would give this honestly probably if I would have played it in 21, this actually probably would have been my game of the year for 21.
Yeah, I think
So.
it was. I think it was for me. I'm trying to think what else came out at 21 that I played. I played most things. Yeah, I probably would have given it my game of the year.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was
it's
very good.
so good.
Yeah, it was very good. It is still very, very good. I am still playing it. Like I said, I'm very close to the platinum. It does suck though because that like challenge thing, the whatever simulation mode, you have to beat it. You have to basically beat the level in the run with the weapon it gives you, with the perks and with the buffs and all and the debuffs and all that. Like it's just, and if you die, you have to wait until the challenge resets itself once a day.
Is it just one biome that you've got to beat?
Yes, just one.
Oh, that's fucking easy then.
Do you have all the ciphers and everything?
I didn't say what?
Do you have all the ciphers and everything?
No, I'm working on that. I think biome 4 and 5 are done. I got those are trophied. 6, I need 1, which is what I was working on. And then I need 1 in number 1. I think I need 2 and 2 and 1 and 3. I think.
With 6, have you found a cipher that's in one of those rooms where you have the time limit to move around? You know, where everything starts moving as soon as you enter and you have to jump on the platforms? Because I'm pretty sure there's a cipher in
Fucking Christ, that would piss me off.
that is in a room where as soon as you enter it, on either side of the room, there's platforms that will start to go up, and I think you have to go on the left or right side to get it. But
Well,
yeah, I'm
it's
pretty
like
sure.
In biome 3, there's a cipher hidden in a room with chests, but it's off on the side, and you wouldn't even know it's there. Because because its icon on the mini map is blocked off by the chests.
I'll
that was really annoying.
Either way, I mean, I think the last time I looked though, because I looked before I did this last run, I was at 1 day and 16 hours, I think. So adds up to 40 hours roughly.
Yeah.
So
134 hours. That's how long it took me to get that fucking platinum for Returnal.
I dread to think how long it took me. I was just forever. Probably well over 30, 40 hours, I would say. Well over.
RNGesus did not smile on me in that game.
Yeah.
So
it took a long time. But yeah, it was a good game, a good choice. I think I mean this month we're doing a Plague Tale. I think only Mike is anyone playing that. Well, I think Mike's finished it, I think.
I started
yesterday.
it. I started it. I think I'm in chapter 3.
I'm probably going to give it a go. I'm playing Elden Ring at the minute, but I will probably give it a go. And then September we're going to play
Elden Ring to get DLC.
We're going to play BioShock Infinite, which Ina's never played. There's so many weird games that Ina's never played that I can't understand why he's not played them. Like, that's one I really don't understand how you've not played BioShock Infinite. It really is a bizarre
Usually it comes down to, like, because it's part of a series, and then it comes out, and I'm like, oh, that seems kind of interesting. And then I'm like,
Infinite,
I never played the originals.
So
Infinite is nothing like the other
BioShock Infinite is kind of a standalone.
Yeah.
It only ties into the first 2 at the end.
Yeah, it's one of those games where
it's very loosely tied.
Yeah, you get a little bit of a nudge, wink, wink if you've played BioShock 1 at the end of BioShock Infinite, but otherwise it's like it's completely its own contained game.
Gotcha.
But that's the first game where Troy Baker got noticed, because he does the voice for Booker DeWitt in that game, because he did that, and then he did Last of Us came out not long afterwards, I think. If not slightly before, actually. Maybe might be The Last of Us first, I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of games.
2013, I think Infinite was 2012.
Yeah, I think that's right, actually, yeah. I think you're right.
There's a lot of these like major titles that I haven't played, and usually it comes down to like I was playing something else big at the time, or something else just
It
had my
usually
attention.
comes down to the fact that he was playing Ace Combat when that came out.
He was building some city somewhere probably when that came out.
I mean, that's possible too.
Because Infinite's a really good game, like really good game, and it's fucking cheap everywhere.
I've heard it was really good, and then it just came down to like even later on, it's like, oh, I should play that, and then I'm like,
Well,
but
just
this, I could play this or this, and
don't be tempted to look it up on YouTube, because you will get the story's really good, and you will have the story spoiled for you within.
I don't know jack shit about the entire BioShock story, other than it was underwater, had something to do with a big suit with a drill, and then a child.
Would you kindly?
Yeah, would you kindly? Yeah. Well, the interesting about BioShock Infinite was the original gameplay trailers and stuff they show for that game. Nearly all of it never ended up in the game. Like they did a whole load of like demos and stuff that just none of it ended up in the game. They changed the game so much that it was completely different by the time it actually came out. Quite interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got that for September. I haven't decided what we're going to do for obviously then October God of War, because we're getting ready for God of War 2 in November, or Ragnarok, I suppose, not God of War 2. And then I haven't really decided what for December yet. November, December yet. I need to have a think.
I can tell you the December game with the perfect December game. Nobody's gonna want to play it though, so it's fine.
If it's Tokyo Jungle, you can
Cthulhu
stay
Saves
quiet.
Christmas.
No.
Why are we not playing Cthulhu Saves Christmas in December?
No.
I want to see how what happens with Extra Life, to see what happens with Iron and Elden Ring, because at some point I would like to try and peer pressure people into playing Elden Ring.
Ooh, you don't have to peer pressure me. I've got the platinum trophy in Elden Ring. I'll play it again.
Here's who I would
love it.
I would like to see Mike play Elden Ring, because I think Elden Ring for Mike would solve all the problems that Mike has with those games more than anybody else.
Add Elden Ring to the Plus collection.
I think because the big difference with Elden Ring, the game doesn't really get. This is me speaking. Obviously, you gotta grade this on a scale, on a sliding scale. Obviously, I don't think the game really gets hard until right at the end. There's at the start of the game, it's so open, you can go anywhere and do anything. The difficulty doesn't really become a problem at all until right near the end of the game.
Once it becomes more linear and you're kind of pushed down the path. Yeah, I get it. I'm with you on that.
They push you towards the final couple of bosses. Like starting with the Fire Giant. So, the Fire Giant is the first boss where it's like, oh, okay, we're fucking around now, are we? We're gonna play a boss that's gonna be a pain in the arse just to hit. Never mind actually fucking not get killed by it. You know. Iron. I think I actually, here's the thing I said this before with Iron and playing games. I wouldn't at all be shocked if Iron now actually does end up liking Elden Ring. I think Iron has more chance of liking Elden Ring than just Death Stranding. I know Mike disagrees with me on that, but I do generally think he will probably like Elden Ring more than Death Stranding.
Well, we have to hit a goal.
Given how he felt about Demon Souls and Bloodborne, I don't think you're wrong.
You get a horse.
Death Stranding is one of those games where you almost have to be on some kind of mind-altering substance to even understand what the fuck is going on.
So you're telling me to download Death Stranding and then go get something out of my fridge?
Yes.
I think
Sweet,
the
I'm in.
difference for Iron with those games like Iron, correct me if I'm wrong here. I think what the things he didn't like about Demon Souls or didn't like about Bloodborne was he didn't like playing through an entire level, getting there, and then getting beaten by a boss that he just felt like he couldn't beat, and then he would go back, and you can't go anywhere else. You've just got to play this boss, and that's it. You've got to beat this boss, and there's no other option. Right. I think that was kind of what you didn't like about it, right? That were the things you didn't like about it.
Yeah, that goes away in Elden Ring.
That was kind of my thing too. Was just the constant banging your head against a proverbial wall.
I mean, because like Returnal's kind of the same. Like you if you don't beat the boss, you can't. I mean, any game really. You don't beat the boss, you can't continue. Which I understand that's fine and all that. But at least for like Returnal, when you're playing it, it changes up every time.
Right. Yeah. The difference with Elden Ring is there are bosses you have to beat, obviously, to like progress the story. But number one, there, it's I would say for the first 3/4 of the game, much easier than any other Souls game. And number two, you can go off and do like 100 other things. Like unless you've played the game, it's really hard to like overstate just how much stuff there is in that game to go and do.
It's massive.
There's so much shit to go and do in that game. You just don't have to go and do anything. You just ride around your horse, killing enemies, grinding, finding caves, finding items, weapons, all that kind of shit. So it does alleviate that quite a lot.
My favorite thing in Elden Ring when I first started playing it was finding the cave early on that has the wolves in it, and then has like the Beast Man as the boss, and then you could just go in there and grind the fuck out of those wolves early on.
Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff in that. There's a lot of good stuff in the early game, but yeah, we'll think about what's for November and December. I just need to have a think about what I'm trying to pick games that either people haven't played or a few people haven't played, or games that people have or we haven't played for a long time, and that can be like a really difficult choice. Like I think it was Mogul who suggested like Mario Odyssey. I don't know who's played that though. I don't think Iron's played that. I've played it.
I'm not rebuying Mario Odyssey.
Mike's played it. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. I just didn't. I didn't get through the like the hard stuff after you finish it.
Yeah.
Oh, dark side.
Yeah.
Of the moon?
Yeah. I think I did do the end stuff, but I don't know if I did all of it.
I think I even went through and got like all of the moons. I just didn't do the.
I
dark
definitely
side
didn't get all
stuff.
the moons.
Yeah, fuck me. There's a lot of moons to get in that game. Holy shit! Like some of those, like the beach. I think I was at one point I was clearing up the moons, and I got to the beach world, and I think I looked, and there's like 90 on that fucking, and I was like, holy shit! Like it's a big fucking game. Mario Odyssey is like it's ridiculously big.
When do we get to force people to play a damn RPG?
Well, I mean, this is the thing. I'm trying to stay away from like obviously like Elden Ring's an RPG, but it's like a real light RPG. Most people in our group don't like RPGs. There's like a few of us like them, but like I mean like real RPGs. I'm not talking like Mass Effect. Mass Effect isn't a fucking RPG.
Yeah.
Like most people in our group don't want to sit down and play a Final Fantasy game. Like it's just not going to happen. Especially not like an older, for like Final Fantasy 12, for example. Like I'd like to play that. I've never played it before, but people in our group don't want to play that. So it's like picking games that like
screw those people. They
so
can play it anyway.
Well,
what were the suggestions?
Do we maybe do something like 7 Remake?
I mean, we could.
I'm currently doing 7 Remake.
7 Remake could be an interesting one because that is, again, that kind of it is still an RPG, but removes most of the RPG-ness, and you can play that game now on easy and retain like the original controls. Because when it first came out, if you put it on easy, you had to play with the weird automated control scheme thing they had, whereas like now you can just play it on easy with like the normal game.
Everybody with PlayStation got it free too, and it's still free on Plus. So
I just beat Air Blaster.
That could be something, but it's like we have to look and see what other people suggest. It is difficult to pick,
Yeah.
We should probably do something like maybe on Switch or something too.
Well, I mean that's why I kind of thought of Mario Odyssey because it was like a Nintendo game, but because there isn't many Nintendo games that everyone's going to want to play either. Do you know what I mean? Like Breath of the Wild's out the window, for example.
Yeah.
Pokemon's out the window.
Baby's first RPG, no go. Although I will say a lot of people, I mean, are planning. At least a few of us are planning to get either Scarlet or Violet. So.
Oh, I mean, like Demos and fucking Austin will get it, obviously.
Yeah, I'll get Scarlet, but yeah.
Yeah, Violet all the way.
It's kind of difficult to find games, But then obviously next year there'll be a whole bunch of games that came out this year and stuff that we can like look at.
Right.
We can play again and stuff, or people that missed it, because not everyone played Horizon this year, not everyone's played Elden Ring, obviously, all that kind of stuff. So, and things will be on sale between now and then. So,
yeah,
I just think no more polls because the poll didn't work because everyone just votes like fucking for everything.
I only voted for one thing.
Otherwise, you just gotta make it to where you can only vote for one.
I don't think you can do that in Discord though.
Well, not make it, but you have to. It's one of those things. Like, I mean, we can see
make
who
a
votes
survey monkey poll or something.
Like well, even so, you can see who votes for the poll, and then you just Or you just make it a Twitter poll, and then you only get one.
Yeah, we could count it out. We could count it out. It wouldn't be impossible to do it, but I think just gauging interest and then picking a game would be like the best. Because like I know Demos has brought up Hollow Knight a few times, and Hollow Knight did get a lot of votes, but I don't think out of those people that voted for Hollow Knight, I don't know how many people are actually going to play Hollow Knight.
I would have given it the good old college try.
Yeah.
I think you're the only one out of us who's playing it. I think I'm going to have to play it, so there's two people to fucking talk about it because.
I think Iron could get through it pretty quickly. I got through it in like 3 days.
I probably could, honestly, and if I can platinum Returnal relatively soon, then yeah.
You play Returnal for a bit. When you get frustrated with it, you go play a chapter or two of Plague Tale, and then you go back to Returnal.
Well, it's just directing rats around, isn't it? Right? Isn't that the game?
No, it is more of a stealth. It's basically a stealth game, and the rats are only a mechanic in, I would say, about half of the game. The rest of it is just, like navigating around humans and stuff like that. I liked it. I mean, it had fairly interesting.
Sir. That's for a different game.
Right. I'm not going. But Jacket, I will say, if you plan on platinuming it, use a collectible guide like your first playthrough, because any time you have to replay a section, it does not let you skip dialogue or cutscenes.
Yeah, that's annoying.
So, like, my problem is, like, if leave it up to me to choose video game book club stuff, and I'm gonna pull like crazy shit out that I want people to play that I enjoyed, like Bug Snacks, Costume Quests. Like I want things that I feel like people should have played but didn't play.
It's not so much that, it's more I want people to actually join in. And the problem is this group is picky. So
yeah, they are.
All right, fine. Doom 2016, let's go.
Like you saw the last couple of games people played. People did play Returnal, and people did, like, a lot of people play Star Wars. That was like the most successful one so far. Like a good portion of us played Star Wars. But like now Plague Tale, people aren't quite so interested. My guess is that BioShock will do better because so many people own that already as well. And I guarantee you most of us haven't played BioShock in a long time. I did play it did I play it this year or last year when I got platinum? I can't even remember. I did play it at the start of this year, but I'll play it again. I'm going to probably play it again. But yeah, I bet a lot of people haven't played that game since it came out for a start. So
we probably should have just stuck with Arkham, because I feel like that probably would have had more.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, what we could do for November...
We should put Guardians of the Galaxy on the list. Finally force me to play it.
Yeah, that's a game that could go on there because it's on Plus. I did think about like Resident Evil 2
and it's on Game Pass.
Could yeah, so I mean it's free now. Yeah, we could do Resident Evil 2 or 3 as well, because I know a lot of people haven't played that and they've got PlayStation 5 versions now.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out in the future.
All right. So anyway, everybody, that's going to be it for the Video Game Book Club for July. Everybody, thank you for watching here on our YouTube channel. Thank you for listening on your podcast service of choice, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, or Amazon. We appreciate it. Go ahead, hit like, hit follow, ring the bell, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/LeonardCastaways on Tuesdays, and then whenever the hell I feel like streaming. I might do it Friday just because I have Friday off anyway, so maybe I'll stream this Friday. You can catch Mike over at twitch.tv/WeHeartGames whenever the hell he feels like streaming. And you can catch Mr. Penguin over at twitch.tv/Mr. Penguin Von Penguin whenever the hell he feels like streaming. He has been talking about possibly Mario Kart here in a little bit.
That's later today, which today is the 7th of August. So you'd have to be watching live or in the Discord right now to know.
Yeah. So, and then Jack doesn't stream.
No. He
just complains that I don't stream certain games, or I do stream games repeatedly.
Yep.
That's about right. So, Extra Life will be October 1st. The 24-hour stream. I will be doing that starting at 8 a.m. that day. I know I think it was what, 800. I think $800 for Elden Ring.
Yep.
$1,000. I will jump into Lake Erie. $1,200. I'll do the Polar Plunge. $1,500. Jacket gets to pick a tattoo with Jen's approval.
You're getting Jacket's name on your ass cheek, buddy.
We will be holding a Smash tournament with a prize for it, so you can enter that with a $10 buy-in. The incentive is live on the Extra Life page, so you can go ahead and do that. But otherwise, everybody, again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and until next time, have a great day.
Adios.
Bye. Okay. That's it for audio.
All right. I got to get some stuff done, so I don't
Yep.
know if the VGBC needs a book club or if it needs a post show or not.
Not really.
Nah,
All right.
We're good.
See everybody later.
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 Later.